Okay, what I thought we'd do for this video is just a quick demonstration on drawing up your own design to put onto your device holder. I think this is probably better than downloading an image off the internet and then dropping that into Illustrator. This is really just a nice way of personalizing your own work. So if you're going to do this, choose whatever it is you want to choose, but then make sure that your drawing is quite clean. Okay, so you need to blacken all the lines, and as you can see, I've already started to do this one here, so I'm just going to clean the lines up a little bit more. And then once I've done that, once I'm happy with it, okay, and I think I'm just about happy with that, preferably no pencil marks on either, okay, because both Photoshop and Illustrator will pick up the pencil marks, and they can be quite difficult to get rid of. So try and make your drawing as clean as possible. And then once you've done that, take your camera and photograph what you've got there. Now try and photograph it so that you don't get too many shadows on it. Okay, and the reason for that is as soon as you send that to your email, you can download that and you've got that ready to store into to play around with in both Photoshop and Illustrator. Okay, in this video, we're going to look at how we can use Photoshop to clean up your artwork. So this is the image that you would have photographed, sent to yourself and saved on your computer. And as you can see, it's picked up all of the highlights and the lowlights from all the shadows, which is something that we don't really want. And not only that, if you look closely, you can see that it's actually picked up some of the grubbiness as well. Okay, so we're going to look at how we can clean this up in Photoshop and also in Illustrator. So the first thing we need to do is remove all of the background so that we're just left with the black. Now to do this, you can see here we've got a layer. We need to double click on this to release it. And as you can see, that then opens this layer up so we can play with it. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. The best way is to use the tool section down here. And under this one here, we have the magic wand tool. If you can't see this, if you click on the little triangle, you will see that it gives you a variety of options here. Okay, so it's the magic wand what we want. And when you click on this, you'll also see a box up here with different tolerances and contingencies. Okay, as long as this is ticked off, that's good. Tolerance can be around about 22. It doesn't really matter for this, but if it's around about that, that's good. So as you can see, if I clicked on my screen now, what Photoshop does is it recognizes what it wants to take away. So if I press delete on my keyboard, you can see it's taken away the background on what I've clicked on. Okay, but that's a bit awkward because you're still left with these little dancing ants. So to get out of that, Control Z, just to bring it back to what it was. Okay, we're still in our magic wand. And then if you look down at quick actions here, oh, where's it gone? There's no quick actions there. There's the quick actions. There we go. Okay, quick actions. You've got a remove background here as well. So if you just click on that, it's just going to remove the whole thing for you, and it's a lot better. It takes a little while, and now you can see that your artwork is a little bit cleaner and ready to be saved and put into Illustrator. So go to File, Save As. Okay, so save it wherever you want to save it. I'm not going to save this because I've already got it here, as you can see. And then once you've done that, you can close Photoshop down. Okay, once you've closed Photoshop, then open your Illustrator. Open that up. And with Illustrator, it's just a nice way to be able to, one, clean a little bit better, and also to manipulate your artwork as well. So we're going to go and create a new page first. Okay, so this is just a piece of paper, and I'm just going to click this one here. Okay, this is the size of the laser cutter anyway, so you can click this if you want. Go to create, and that's just going to give us a piece of paper that we can drop our artwork on. So we want to go into our file, and this time we don't want to open, we want to place. So we're going to get our artwork and find where the artwork was. Note, so I've got one here, and I'm going to open that up, and I'm just going to click and place that. So in this one here, with this selection tool here, this just allows us to move. We can either size it, if I can hold my shift key down at the same time, and I can size that, or I can spin it around. If I hover over here, I can spin that around and manipulate it and move it. Also, I can use it from here as well. I can just transform, I can rotate, I can reflect, etc., etc. For now, we're just going to leave it like this, okay? I'm just going to enlarge that for you so you can see that it's still quite pixelated. So we want to be able to make these lines a little bit sharper, okay? So the way that we do that, select it, go to Object, go down to Image Trace, and before we do anything, we're just going to we're not going to expand it, just to see what it does. Okay, now if your artwork is good enough, you'll see that it's really cleaned those lines up quite well. Okay, so if you're happy with it, go back into it, go back down to your Image Trace, and expand it. Okay, so what that's done, in effect, is giving you some paths here that you can actually manipulate and play with. So if there's still elements on this that you think, no, I want to do something a little bit more with that, then this is where it's possible to do. So on this one here, you've got a direct selection tool and a selection tool. Okay, this time we're going to hit the direct selection tool, and then we're just going to hit on those. And as you can see, we've got all these little tiny pointers come up. So what I'm going to do now is just enlarge this, so you can see what I can do with this. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like that. And I've decided that I want to play around with some of these points. Okay, I want to maybe, if I double click on this, I can get handles and anchors. Okay, and you can see I can pull these handles up, and I can manipulate my artwork. Okay, and exactly the same here. If I double click on these, I get these little handles that I can pull and I can mess around with. Okay, you can do some really funky stuff with this. Okay, so this is another way of actually creating artwork, which you can then use for your laser cutter. Once you're happy with it, all you need to do is save that as, you can save it as finished, you can save it whatever you want, you can save it wherever you want. But as long as you've got that, then that's ready. I'm not going to bother saving this one, but that will be ready for using on your Onshape DXF file that will also be put into here.